Cooking? Perfect. Hey, good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for doing this. It means the world.
Well, to me, to have you ask me means the world to me because I've known you forever and ever. So nice.
Yeah, I feel a little guilty that I can't remember, but you probably remember me, but I don't remember meeting you as a child, unfortunately. I know that sounds terrible.
Where were you?
But, I wish I could have because my dad always talked about you. Kathy Quinn's gone. And then we actually reconnected, a couple of years ago when you FaceTimed him?
Right.
And he's like, hey, look, it's Kathy Quinn. I'm like, the reporter? No way. You guys know each other? That's amazing.
You didn't remember that
No,
at all?
but then, we sat down and he told me, a bunch of stories and how you guys had worked together. And it just, oh, my God, I don't know how it phased out of my brain. But
Well, when you're with somebody, he would have been my work husband for so many years. I don't know, 3-4 years maybe. And when you have that relationship, their family becomes like your family. I mean, he heard all my stories from my family, and I heard about you boys. And it was just kind of cool. But he's great.
Wow. So you probably heard a lot of terrible
I
stuff.
didn't. Nothing terrible whatsoever. He was very, very proud of you guys.
Were you involved in that story maybe in like 99 or 2000 where we dressed up as Power Rangers? Does that ring any bells?
That would have probably been a dayside reporter. So I was morning show.
Okay.
We were more live shots.
This was for like video game violence. Or like movie violence,
funny.
And they were saying like watching Power Rangers, and so Heath and I dressed up as Power Rangers and beat each other up for like 10 seconds.
That's hilarious. No, that would have been more of a dayside person. So I've always worked mornings. Was your dad on that story?
I think he
must have shot
he may
it.
have just facilitated it.
He could have been dayside. So morning were pretty much just live shots. Sometimes I'll do the occasion. I do pay it forward, which is we give $400 to people, and that's recorded, and we do that. But normally mine are live shots. Like if I were to do this as a morning story, I would be doing live. We wouldn't have anything recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How in the world did you get into this gig?
I've always liked to perform. I'm half Irish and half Mexican, so I was in Mexican fiestas, and I Irish danced with my 5 sisters. So we've always had that. Both sides. I love it. I love being both Irish and Mexican. And so always performed, always loved to talk, if you can't tell. And so I did a little bit I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a doctor. I also want to be a veterinarian. But I'm not any of those. And so what happened? Let's see. In college, then I changed over, and I loved broadcasting because of a professor I had, Dr. Doug Moore. He made me fall in love with TV and radio and with movies. Of course, I've always loved movies. And so I did a little bit of broadcasting, television. So my degree is communication studies. I had three degrees, 2 big degrees and 1 minor. And the main one was a broadcasting, television, and radio. Did a little bit at American Cablevision, which was during college, which it was on cable back then in Kansas City. And so I did news there, and I would interview the stars. So Raymond Burr, was in Ironsides. You weren't even born. Ironsides, Raymond Burr, real popular. So he's one of them that I interviewed. Then I went to Ireland. I did a little bit of radio over there at a station called Radio Nova. Tried to get into TV, but you had to speak Irish, and I don't really look like one of them. I started off at a very country radio station where they didn't really particularly care for women on the radio, believe it or not. 60 miles away, it was more like being in New York. You were in Dublin. It was really cool, Radio Nova, where I was the Nova girl, and I just had a ball. And then from there, came back to Kansas City, worked at KCPT a little bit, and then from there, Channel 41 got a hold of me. They didn't even have a full news department then. Got a hold of somebody at KCPT, said, hey, we'd like her to fill in on AM Live. And you don't remember that because you were too little. AM Live. And so I did that for a while, and then they started a news department and said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to do mornings. We don't have a morning show. Like, well, we don't have a morning show. But in my head, that's all I wanted to do. And so they came up then later on with a morning show.
What was the attachment to the mornings?
Because I wanted to take care of my kids.
Oh, okay.
And plus, I think I'm more of a morning person. I didn't want it to own me throughout the day, because if you work your day shift, sometimes you come in, I would say 9:30, then you leave probably 6:30 or 7.
Yeah.
But if you work then the evening shift, you're 1:30 till 10:30 or 11. I didn't want it to take over my life. So I wanted to be able to be with my kids and have a life as well. And it's hard because getting up at 2 in the morning, 2:15. Yeah. Back then when I worked with Tim Hellick at 41, we didn't get up that early. I think we got up at 5. I think our morning show started at 7 and it went on through 9. But now we get on, because all the stations went up, they all went like this. So they all were, say they were all 5. Then they'd all go back, okay, we're going to do 4:30. Okay, well, I'll do 4:30. I'll do 4:30. Then I'm going to do 4. I'll do 4. I go, if they do 3:30, I'm not doing it. So our morning show starts at 4 now, and I'm up at 2:15.
So you're live on air at 4?
4:30. Yeah, the station's live on air at 4, and the reporters are on at 4:30.
And that's generally a live shot for somewhere?
Always a live shot. And it could be breaking news. So our first morning, so 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7 are all a little bit tougher. They're not tougher. They're harder news. Then your late live shots, softer news. Fun news.
So do you guys have a crew that like monitors overnight that helps kind of cleave the information and lets you know, hey, there's a house fire at 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where to go?
We have producers that come in at 9, 10, 11. They stagger depending on what the shows. We have a 4 o'clock show, 5 o'clock show, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you get 6 producers. They all come in at different times. And then there's somebody monitoring. We used to have a full desk monitor, but a lot of the newsrooms don't do that anymore. I don't know why.
So when you went to Ireland and did the radio show, is that when you met your husband?
No. I met my husband when I was 13.
Oh, really?
13. So I'm half Irish, half Mexican, if I haven't said that already. And my father's dream was to take all of us, there were 10 of us, to Ireland. And back then, the Ancient Order of Hibernians, which is an Irish group, would go over. It's an Irish Catholic group that started in not in Kansas City, in the United States. A group where the Irish come in and they get help from, you're Irish. Okay, we'll help you with this, that type of thing. So that's what it started out as.
Like Irish immigrants?
Yes.
Okay.
Hibernia is another word for Ireland. Ancient Order of Hibernians. So every other year they would go over and take a chartered plane, which was different because back then a chartered plane would go to Ireland. They took 2 trips. It was hilarious. You could smoke on the plane, believe it or not, and it was just really crazy because it was a charter plane, so everybody was nuts. All the Irish going over. So I met him one year over there. We were staying at a director's home who was going to Greece, my dad's friend. While they were going to Greece, we were going to stay in their home, and we stayed there. A young lady was showing us around. It was beautiful, the Vale of Avoca, the meeting at the Waters, Thomas More, and she was showing us around the house and blah, blah, blah. And two or three sisters ran in. These boys are throwing pine cones at us. It's awful. These boys. And I'm not even the oldest one. I'm in the middle. And I went out and I said, get down here, fight like a man. And he took off running. Don't worry. I saw his mullet and his big wide jeans and all that kind of stuff. And so his sister, or the girl that was showing us around, said, what did they look like? And we were in the middle of the country. It wasn't in his city. It was in the country. And he was with his gang. And so I said, he looked like this and this. And she started laughing. She goes, that was my brother. So that's a long time ago.
And so you were 13 at the time? Did I read that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
So you met your husband, you were 13, and you're on a trip. So then you come back to the United States.
I always liked him.
How did you guys reconnect?
Well, we didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones. But we had paper and pen. And he didn't write that often. I have every letter he ever wrote. Don't worry. But his sister liked my brother. So there was that connection, too. So the two, how girls are. We write more than the boys will. So that's how we kind of kept in touch. Then, remember I said we'd go every other year? Well, we had to skip a year because I had a sister who got very ill, and we couldn't go. During that time, his family moved to Scotland. And so by the time we came back, it was 2 years later. Well, we'd lost touch. We were staying at the home with our friends again, and she said, you'll never guess who I saw at this main shopping center not too far away. And she said, the Byrne family. And I'm like, oh, you saw the Byrne family? And at this point, I might have been 18 or 19. And so I said, so who was there? And so she named off all. I said, oh, any of them married? Because at that time, he would have been about 20. And she said, no, he's there. So boom, I knew we went to his grandmother's home because that's where they were moving back from. So they had moved away for 3 years because the father was a mining engineer, and they moved back. At the same week, we came back. No idea.
No way. The timing.
We came back on a Sunday, and he came back on a Monday. Neither one of us knew. So
you guys connected then on that trip, and then the rest is history?
The rest is history.
Wow. How long did it take to get him to the United States?
Well, let me think. he had a band over there called Regent Street. They were in the top 10 of the Irish charts for several weeks. So he had a really cool little band. The government collapsed. I can't remember, 08, 09. I don't remember what it was.
The Irish or the United States?
Wait a minute, let me think. The Irish government, they couldn't decide, and so pubs were closing, that type of thing. So his band couldn't play because there was no place to play. And I'm trying to think, and I'm getting my years all mixed up. No, before Regent Street, he came over to try it in the United States. But he kind of loved, he really didn't like it too much here. He missed music. So this was before that band. He had lots of bands growing up. And so he came over. There was a bit of a tragedy where his sister was killed in a car wreck. And so then he went back home. That's when he started the band. And was never going to come back. Didn't love the United. Wasn't going to come back because it was a horrible thing that happened. And I went back over there to college one year, University College of Dublin. And then back and forth, and finally he came here. And he's been here since 87.
So when you went over there to do college for a year, were you still going to do broadcasting or
no?
No. What were you studying over there?
To be a doctor.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And your brother's a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So he started the Elders in Ireland.
No, he didn't start the Elders. The Elders started here in '98. Andrina, who's my youngest daughter, was on a soccer team with a young lady named Sophie. And I'm just kind of sitting there. The moms are all kind of cliquish, sitting, talking away. And I'm saying, oh, gosh. And there's one mom standing there, and she goes, so what does your husband do? Because we had nothing else to talk about. I go, oh, well, he was in a band, and they recorded some music thinking I'm so tough, right? And so I said, what does your husband do? And she goes, well, he plays with the Elders. And I went, what? We just saw the Elders. We loved him. We saw him in Westport. Well, apparently the lead singer was leaving because his wife got a job somewhere else. So that's how it worked out, that they had him come over and audition, and now he's been the lead singer since 2002.
Wow. So you guys had already watched, and liked the Elders.
Loved them.
And you're at an event, and clicky moms are talking, and this just so happens to lead to your husband being the lead singer of the Elders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. And you were telling me as we were walking up here, they're touring a lot.
They have a big trip coming up to Ireland, which what it is luxury. You should come. I'll try to talk your dad into it. So what it is they're luxury tour buses, and you have your guide. They pick you up at the airport. You don't worry about anything. They take care of your suitcases, everything. You've got the luxury tour bus. You've got beautiful 4 to 5 star hotel rooms. They take you on a tour every day. You can go if you want. You don't have to, if you're tired. And then every other night, the Elders play a private concert for you. So you're with the band. You eat breakfast with the band. You do a couple of dinners with the band. And it's just fabulous. You see the country, but you don't have to worry about anything. And then you have a couple of, nights with the band also.
They play a different set every night?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you said he's also into woodworking?
He's a master carpenter. And so Bird and Custom Woodworking's been going since 91.
And so he played in bands the whole way growing up, it sounds like. Was he a vocalist, or did he play guitar?
No, he was a bagpiper.
A bagpiper.
One of the first times I saw him, he was in a kilt. So he's a bagpiper. Then he became a drummer. And he said the other day, he was doing an interview, he said from the time he was 4 years old that he always wanted to do woodwork because that's what his daddy's hobby was. And he always was going to be a drummer. And that's all he wanted to do, woodwork and a drummer. He does beautiful work if you look at burncustomwood.com. He does a lot of churches. He does a lot of high-end furniture. We have none, but everybody else has it.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Did you do some acting with Ray Liotta?
I did.
Tell me about that.
So before that...
Rest in peace, just so.
Before that, there was a movie that came into town called Mr. and Mrs. Bridge with Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, who were very popular actors. You remember who they were?
I know those names, yeah.
He was in The Sting, and he was in Cool Hand Luke. Oh, he was great. Anyway, his wife wanted to do this book called There was a Mr. Bridge and a Mrs. Bridge. It was written by Evan Connell, who went to Southwest High School, which is a brilliant high school back then. And so she wanted to do this film. The first edit was 6 hours. But anyway, one of casting agents called me and said, we want to get some ethnic girls down here. There's a part for an ethnic girl. Okay. So I brought my sisters down at the cattle call, and we had a great time. I had 4 different interviews with Merchant Ivory. And so he was, in the end, he was the director, and he said, now, Miss Quinn, how old are you? Well, you don't ask me that. And I turned around and I said, well, how old do you want me to be? And he goes, fair enough, fair enough. So I played a 19-year-old. I was not 19. And her name was Paquita. So I played Robert Sean Leonard's girlfriend. Do you remember Dead Poet Society?
No, is this a movie or a show?
A movie. Dead Poet
Pull
Society.
Pull it up.
With Robert Sean Leonard. I played his girlfriend. So that was the first one. And then about a year later came Ray Liotta's film. And that was with Kathy Baker. So when I auditioned for that film, I was not expecting. And when they came back 6 months later, I was. So then I got demoted. My part got, yeah, because I was expecting, I guess. I shouldn't have told them.
What a surreal experience. I always think of, unfortunately, just because my age, of the movie Blow.
Oh, right.
Where he's the dad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Where did you guys do the filming for that?
St. Mary's Hospital, which is now the Fed, off of Main Street. You know where the Fed is?
I don't know. Terrible.
What? It's a brand new. I mean, it's with it, what, 10, 15 years? It's
I'm sure if I saw the building, maybe I'd know what it is.
30. It's right across from the Liberty Memorial on Main Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that was St. Mary's Hospital, where everybody in my family was born. So before they knocked it down, or several years before they knocked it down, it wasn't a hospital anymore. And so they shot a lot of the scenes in that film.
That's so neat. So did they choose to do that here just because this is like a rich Italian history?
No, they chose to shoot it here because at the time I think they were getting incentives for people to shoot films here, and plus, let's face it, it was cheaper to do it here.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have a wonderful film industry here. They would just take advantage of it.
I heard they're shooting nothing in Hollywood now.
Georgia's a big place.
Yeah.
Where else?
Did you find a picture of that?
Nashville.
Dead Poets Society?
Yeah, Dead Poets Society.
Oh, you could. So if you look,
Robin Williams.
Yeah, he was in it.
Double R.I.P.
You'd love it.
I have a weird thing about movies, and this sounds so ignorant, but like, unless they're after 2006, I just can't stand to watch the filmography of them.
Oh, really?
I know, terrible.
Well, you would have loved Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. It was shot very well. It was a little slow, but you see Kansas City and you see everybody in there. It was really cool.
Yeah, that'd be neat to see, especially filmed in Kansas City. So you won an Emmy for which of those?
No. I won an Emmy for A Child's Prayer, which was a 3-part series that we shot in the Dominican Republic with James Massey. And my brother was one of the plastic surgeons who went over to do children's cleft lip and cleft palates. We didn't, at the time, the news director said, let's do it. The general manager, I won't say his name, said, we're not going to do that. Everybody does that kind of story. And I said, you don't understand. These doctors pay out of their own pockets to go, which they did. Medical Aid for Children of Latin America. They've done it 45 years. And so it was my brother and I wanted to go, not thinking whatever. So we would go shoot during the day. And you can imagine, one of the people we went, one of the very first people. So he has a clinic where 600 people come and they screen them. Because they have a lot of cleft lips and cleft palates over there. And then a lot of burns. So it's not for cosmetic surgery. It's for functionality. Oh. And so one of the moms came and her son, I think he had a double cleft lip, double palate. We followed her home with my photographer, and the Peace Corps was furious at me because they don't consider women very highly. They're not highly regarded there. And so anything could have happened. They were really mad. My brother's like, you could have died. What was I going to tell Mom? My sister's dead. She got killed over, He was pretty upset with me. I didn't understand. Whatever. We went over there to her home, which is quite a ways away, and it was a shed. She had 8 children. Yeah. It was clean, spotless, everything but no running water. And anyway, so that was a 3-part series that we did called A Child's Prayer. It just showed what it was like. I mean, I can still watch it now and cry.
Yeah, I need to really watch that. That sounds amazing. Did your brother convince you to come, or was he going to go do those pro bono surgeries himself?
No, he
already?
goes. Oh no, he'd been going for years already. I don't remember how many years he'd already been going, and I had to beg Dr. Garrity, who started Medical Aid for Children in Latin America, to go because he didn't want any media whatsoever. He didn't want any coverage. They didn't do it for that. They were doing it for themselves, and they didn't want any, bad stuff going. Well, this happened and that happened anyway. So yeah.
And so who put it on to bring you in? Like
I brought myself on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
I went and talked to Dr. Garrity and said, I want to go.
And did you have to assemble the crew, like your camera guy? Did you pick him out, or did they?
Oh no, yeah. James Massey. Do you remember James Massey at all? No.
Mm-mm.
You weren't paying attention.
I know. There's something wrong with my brain. I don't know what it is, but I don't remember anything before like 13.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you.
I take some vitamins now, though. It's all coming back.
Okay,
I'm like,
good.
okay, all right. This person's oh, your grandma? Okay.
No, James Massey. He's so many Emmy awards that he's won. He's absolutely fabulous. So it was usually you take a crew. Well, so let me tell you, the general manager said, you're not going. We don't have the money. The news director, Lynn Hyder, I will say her name, she said, go. We'll figure it out later. So we went and we on a shoestring, we went over there. Usually you would take 4 or 5 people, you would think. And it was just myself and James. I'm carrying lights and, but it was brilliant. It did change, not my life, it changed my attitude. I appreciated hot water. I appreciated I still do. Getting in my car every day. I mean, these are things we take for granted.
Yeah, I can't imagine the reinvigoration of gratitude you must feel when you experience something like that. We had a guy on here, Raul Gonzalez, and he works for BTCV, Be the Change. I don't know if you've ever covered anything from them, but they go out and they build primarily educational centers in these third world countries.
Oh, great.
And he's been involved in, I think, 4 or 5 projects, one in India, a couple in Puerto Rico, and they build schools from the ground up. And even down to some of them get computers, and so they have to install the Ethernet, the internet, and all that. It's so bizarre, but one thing he was saying was it really refills your own cup just to see that.
This was little boy named Carlos. I don't know where the mother went, but the dad was there. And everything was clean and spotless, but it seemed like you walked at this hospital, Padre Bellini Hospital. It was almost as if you walked into a World War II era hospital. While everything was clean, it wasn't up to date, that type of thing. And I did watch a couple surgeries. They had to do 2 surgeries in a room to make sure they got everybody. And this little Carlos's dad paid my brother in chickens. I mean, just, ugh.
Did he eat the chickens?
No, he gave them back to her. He didn't. What was he going to do with the chickens? I mean, he could bring them. I would have taken the chickens. But that type of thing, they're just so appreciative over there because if you're born with something like that, it's considered evil. It's an evil spirit has touched your family.
Is Christianity the primary religion there?
Yes.
So part of their beliefs, though, is that that's evil?
I can't remember what the name of it was. Yes. And I can't remember. They would wear a little red ribbon around your wrist for good luck when you would go into surgery. I wish I could remember what that was, but.
When you got into media, what did you expect? And was it different than you could imagine?
I would say I didn't plan on getting into news for real. I would much rather, at that time, what a talk show type of thing, which I did eventually. You don't remember this. I keep saying that. But Lynn Hyder, the news director that I loved, started a show called Kansas City Alive. Or was it it was Kansas City Today. She said, I'd like you to host it. I was able to choose a host, which was Randy Mason, who was at KCBT. And it was a variety show. It lasted for a year. And not any longer, whatever. We were replaced by Matlock. But I think it was great. We had singers, we had news, we had satellite interviews, and we had different sets. And that was my dream. That was my dream. And it didn't last. But I would love to do that again.
I mean, was there anything that felt maybe not that it gave you an eerie feeling, that's probably a little strong, but was there anything that like they asked you to do or politically driven that just didn't seem or sit well with you, and
Couple
you had
things,
to like
yeah.
establish yourself before you could really say no?
I would say what my one news director, Mark Olinger, said was, you're going to have to go up, and if it's a murder, you have to knock on the door. Is that going to bother you? I remember one of the stories, I don't remember if I did this with Tim, but I was in Kansas City, Kansas. It was a big high hill, 2 houses there, and a little boy was riding his big wheels, and the 2 Rottweilers got wound up by the big wheels. It was the summer and everything, and he was mauled. So I had to go up to this home and talk to the family, and they did talk to us. What I have found was everybody deals with grief, and you may know this as a firefighter. Everybody deals with grief differently. I have found that the more, for me, for like the Latinas, we will talk about it. As with this family, it was an African-American family. They did want to talk about it because that's how they got their grief out. And then I find that other people that I think maybe these cultures are a little bit more, they want to talk about it more where other people don't. Like, people who are not Latinas are not, that's what I have found in my experience. Nothing to do with anything, but that's what I found in all the stories I've done. I covered a story where it was multiple gunshots. 2 people were killed. They were a Latina family, and they wanted to talk to me almost immediately. They wanted to talk about it. They wanted to find who did it. But, I mean, I don't know if I would. Maybe that's my half-Irish side. I don't know. But these people, they wanted to get it out, and that's kind of what I found. But anyway, with that family, it was, can you imagine?
No, I can't. Well, one thing that, it's like I've seen the news on scenes, and they're so unwanted. And coming from talking to my dad, like at least he's pointing the camera, but I can't imagine having to go get the frontline headline or the interview. Mm-hmm. Sticking the mic in the face is much different than just recording from the sidelines where you're not wanted.
Exactly.
That takes a different type of person. We've experimented a little bit doing some like field reporting from just like some fights and things like that. And it is like, oh God, I got to go interrupt this guy. I know he doesn't want to talk to me.
And a lot of times now, I will say, there have been times too where that you don't go approach them. Let's just put it that way. You know that you don't ask them. You know that they don't want to talk. So it's like, okay, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna interfere if they want to talk. And a lot of times with that Latina, the multiple people who were killed, they asked for me. Maybe because I was a Latina as well, and they know. And I've been in it a while. They knew possibly that I would get the word out fairly. That's what I try to do.
Work is work, but do you feel like you're in a position that you're very fortunate? Like, do you get excited still to wake up every day and do your job?
Mm-hmm. I love what I do. I don't like getting up at 2:15 anymore. I wish we could go back to maybe even 4 o'clock would be nice, but no, I love it.
Was there like a moment where it kind of felt surreal? And you were dealing with like imposter syndrome at all? Be a huge Kansas City personality.
Dude.
I don't know about
Do you ever just sit back and think about that?
This is home, and I wish thanks, but no. This is just home. I feel blessed to be in Kansas City because a lot of people, I remember when I at 41, I can't remember, and they'd say, well, you're going to have to go away and come back, get some experience and come back. I didn't. I said, I'm not. My family's here. I'm going to come. Because I came from Ireland to here, so I said, I'm not going anywhere else. So really had to pay my dues. I find that a lot of people that are in it now that are younger don't want to pay their dues. They don't. That's not right. They need to pay their dues.
Yeah, I mean, it's a chronic theme throughout all jobs now. Like, everybody's so entitled and they just want to be able to do what they want immediately, and they don't realize, like, and part of it is like, okay, you don't want someone to have to suffer through what you went through, but also that's what made
Yes,
me.
I do.
I
do. No,
I do too. But, at some parts it's just like.
No, I don't think it's suffering. I think it's they need to learn the ropes, and they need to learn the different. You can't, for example, I had somebody ask me one time to share some of my sources with some of the younger people, and I went, okay, bring them in here. Okay, so we get a list of people that are in PR. Yeah, here's this PR, something that's already common knowledge, and public record. You can find out that I'm not giving up my sources. I would never get up my sources. There was a story we did being in junior high school, and some people had given me some records. Do you know the old Bingham? You might not remember. It wasn't the building was in disrepair. It's now something else. I don't know what school it is now. But at
Talking
the time,
about Independence?
No, this is Kansas City.
Okay.
80-something in Warnell. And the records were just out. Social Security cards, everything. The records of the students and their parents were out. And so the people brought it to me. We reported on it and took it. They were going to, the school district wanted the records back, and they were going to file a lawsuit and blah, blah, blah. And I have a brother who is an attorney. He goes, now, would you be willing to go to jail? Because if you don't give up and let them know who gave you these records, I go, no, I'll go to jail. I'm never going to give up people. I'm not going to give up my sources. That's my job, is to protect these people.
So you'd received a tip-off for this story.
I received the records. They came and brought me the records. And we were like, and so all these records were there, and the school district was denying. Now, none of those people are there now, but they were denying that these records were there. They were there. We were showing them they were there, but they still lied and said, no, that's not true. And had all these parents coming forward saying, all my information is out there. I mean, credit cards, everything, from even though it was years before, it had their home addresses, their social security numbers, all that type of thing. And the district said, no. So what happened was, the school was wide open. It was rained on, stormed on, everything. They eventually got rid of everything. But in the meantime, there were years and years and years and years of their records out in the open. We eventually had to put the records back, but...
So did anybody ever come to you and ask you to give up your sources officially?
No.
No,
but they did go to the news director and say, if you don't, we want to find out who gave, we just kind of, no, we're not doing it.
But your brother warned you that might be the thing that was
Well, he
happen.
said, I'm sure you'll go to jail for it. And he said, you would, wouldn't you? I said, yes, I would.
So you're a diehard.
I'm a loyal person. I'm not going to give him up. And we've had a lot of stories like that. One of the biggest stories, though, I would say of my time, besides my children's story in the Dominican, was on the priest abuse. That's what you were kind of asking me before. So, having grown up in Catholic schools, I go to Mass every Sunday. However, here's a story that needs to be told about these horrible priests who were molesting these boys. Many of them, I knew their families, and I do know their families. I won't mention their names now, but you can go look them up. And priests that I know, a couple of them are no longer with us, who were doing this when I was a little girl, and even before then. And you have to report on these stories, but you have to. You have to. These boys have suffered. There's actually a Netflix movie made on one of the priests, and a couple. If you look that up, I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I've seen that documentary, I think.
Okay. Well, I knew that. I knew a lot of those boys. I'd interviewed them, and so for 15 years, I broke the story in 2002. And for 15 years I did it. And after the 15 years, I couldn't do it anymore. And from what I understand, I don't know if it's with firefighters, but police detectives, sometimes they hit that wall. They cannot do it anymore. Done.
So that caused a lot of distress with yourself because of your own personal ideologies, or?
No, I knew that I had to do it.
Yeah.
I knew that I had to do it, but that didn't make me I had to divide myself from being my Catholicism, and I had to, it wouldn't matter what, if Baptist or whatever, I had to do the story. These people wanted their stories out, and I did give both sides, but I was able to give a voice to these young men, mainly young men. There was maybe a couple young ladies, and they wouldn't speak to anybody but me, because probably they knew my family or whatever, they trusted, because that's horrible to have to put this out in the public, but they had to so that it wouldn't happen to anybody else.
Yeah.
So
how many churches in the Kansas City metro did that involve?
Oh, well, let's talk priests. 15 to 30. Oh, that's it.
This is it.
That's it.
Per session.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
So several priests, though?
Oh, no, honey, more than several, dear.
Wow. 2002?
2002. I don't want to say his name, but 2002, there was a priest who was the, what do you call it, over at St. Joseph Medical Center, and I got word that they were going in to talk about it, that the diocese was going in to talk about it and discuss this particular priest. What do you call it? The chaplain. He was the chaplain at St. Joseph. And he was out of there. He was out of there. And he'd been a priest for many, 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 many years and a lot of victims. In fact, 2 of the priests were in the top 5 of the worst, number 1 and 2, in the state of Missouri.
So did they have like hundreds of accusations?
Yeah.
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 That's so sick.
It's very, very, but that ruins the names of the wonderful priests that are out there.
Same with the police. It's the same with everything.
Yeah.
It's like the 1 or 2 bad apples will ruin it for everybody.
That's
every time.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with, I don't want to get you in trouble, but like with the whole thing with the KCI airport gender neutral bathroom. And it's like, no, I'm not saying that everybody who has an issue with gender dysphoria or whatever you want to call it is like going to do that, but it does allow the door to somebody that is sick. That's just how it's going to be.
66 films or videos on his phone.
Yeah.
66?
Well, there was that guy in North Kansas City that did the same. Do you remember that? This was
priest.
like no. This wasn't a priest. Oh wait, is the priest had 66 videos?
No. The guy at the airport. There was a priest in North Kansas City.
Like a year ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, there was an employee. I think he was a respiratory therapist at North Kansas City. And again, the bathrooms, just for lack of a better term, they're gender neutral. They're in the break room. It's one for everybody. And he had set a pin camera. Well, I guess one of the charge nurses found it and was like called a meeting and was saying, here we go, 2003, charge nurse at a hospital, small black device disguised as an ink pen in a plastic storage tote. See, I think it's where they kept like extra tampons and things for women. And so he set it in the bottom there. Well, a good Samaritan, whether you want to call her that or not, brought it out thinking it was like a vape pen. So they thought someone might be, smoking the marijuana at the hospital. And they're like, who put this fucking pen in the bathroom? Well, they got to looking at it, taking it apart, and they're like, oh my God, it's got a USB or a micro SD chip on the back.
My God.
And they called the cops. One of the most horrific thing is I got a lot of friends that work at that hospital. And if you wanted to have your case heard, seen, tried to help this guy get convicted, you had to go in there and sit with detectives and identify your genitalia.
Oh, boy. I don't even know if I could.
Yeah. I know a lot of the girls were like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to sit
So with this guy with the 66 films, on the 66 videos on his phone, one of my very dear friends was contacted by detectives. She traveled during that time period, the time frame that he had that. And so I haven't asked her, but they said because of the camera where they were able to, the facial thing, that they noticed that she went into the bathroom at that time. And that's why they think it was she's one of the victims.
Wow. 66. He must have been doing that for a long time.
During his lunchtime.
Yeah. You wonder what he was doing with them. Personal use? I mean, when you got that many, are you selling them? What are you doing with that footage?
It's a disease, I guess. I don't know.
100% it's a disease.
I'm very uncomfortable going in those restrooms.
Uncomfortable?
Very uncomfortable. Myself. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know. I would think, like, that's the thing is, I guess they appeared to be very safe. Like, I guess there's a minute, tiny crack that it could have slipped under. So I don't know what kind of cell phone he had, but they said they go up and down from the walls to the floor, or from the ceiling to the floor. I haven't been in the gender-neutral bathrooms.
I have, but I don't remember that. I had heard that there was more of a space there. But no. I mean, I know when you're younger and you have to go to the restroom and you're at a bar, you might, tell your girlfriends to hold on to the door. I've done that, but no. Even that's kind of yucky.
Yeah. But again, it's just an example of, no, it's not always the case. But if you give somebody an opportunity, they're going to use it. So it sounds kind of funny, like I'm asking you to get up your sources, but how were you alerted to the priest thing? Like, was it somebody that had a personal thing happen, alerted their family member, or how did that all unfold?
So how it happened was one of the people on the board involved in discussing this particular case, because this broke it open in 2002, 2001, 2002, because I was with KCTV5 at the time. And they contacted me and said, we're having a meeting about this priest. And there have been 4 or 5 people who've come up together. And I believe SNAP was involved, the Survivors Network of those abused by priests, had come up also. So the attorney, Rebecca Randalls, who was handling all these cases, one of her victims wanted to talk to me. At the same time, I'm finding out that the diocese is going to discuss him and what to do with him.
So did you cover the meeting of the diocese?
No, I didn't cover the meeting because they're not going to talk to us.
Absolutely.
No,
I can't imagine
they're
they
not
would.
going to talk to us. They did release a statement later and say, "What we take these allegations very blah, 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 blah." And I get it. But I was able to talk to the victim. How we put the story together, we talked to the victim. There's a lawsuit going out against him. Now, this was not criminal. This was more civil. And then you reach out to the diocese and they give you a statement. And the diocese says this. So that's how it was.
So when the lawyer's reaching out to you, that's kind of a weird position because what do they want from you? You know what I mean? Like, they do want...
Well, they want their case to be known, but the reason she was reaching out was because one of the victims knew me or knew my family or knew someone or trusted me to get the story out. And there were several victims at that time.
So how many of the victims did you interview personally?
Of all the cases, 50, maybe 60 over all those years, yes. There was a case of brothers. It was just, breaks my heart. And one of the brothers still isn't over it. And it was their uncle.
Uncle was a priest or just the molester? He was a priest?
Both.
Oh, my God. And ultimately, I assume they won that lawsuit?
Yes. Yes, but what do you win?
Well, I mean, the lawyer wins. That's what's I'm kind of asking. It's kind of weird.
No. Yes and no. There's a lot of work that goes into this. Rebecca Randall, she was in it for the passion for the people. She didn't make that much money. No. I mean, you have to get paid. You're an attorney. You do a lot of footwork.
Yeah.
But after a while, then everybody came to her and knew that they could trust her. But the boys just wanted their voices to be heard. They wanted to know that they were wronged. It wasn't about money for any of them. It was about letting them know that, hey, whoever you are, father, whatever, gotcha. You got, they ruined their little lives. A lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
I
mean, probably some forever.
Some probably forever, yeah.
Yeah. And so you said you eventually had to take a step away from that story?
Yeah. After 15 years, I just said, I'm done.
So when you say that, 15 years you had been reporting on the same story?
No, not on the same story. On the same, anytime there was a priest abuse story, I would report on it. It wasn't the same priest. It was always like, oh my God, not this one. Yeah.
And you eventually had to push that aside.
Eventually, I didn't want to do it anymore.
Did it create any disruption in your faith?
Oh no. Because they're humans, and because I have fabulous priests. I went to Christ the King Catholic School. Had fabulous nuns, fabulous, wonderful priests, Monsignor Carney, and all those. No, I mean. There are going to be bad apples, as you say. And these were horrible. These were not bad. These were awful. Thank God I didn't connect with any of them. I mean, I knew 2 or 3 of them personally, but nothing that happened to my family, thank God. So.
How did the Pay It Forward come to be?
The Pay It Forward was cool. That was in 2008. Was that 2008 when our... Maybe I'm getting all the years mixed up when the economy was bad.
Yeah,
yes.
that was
okay, that was it. I was thinking that wasn't in Ireland.
Some Pelosi made a bunch of money.
Is that what it was? It? Well, we didn't. 2008, things were kind of down, And my boss just said, I want to do something positive. Let's do this. So we started off with $300. Well, all these years, people are saying, why aren't you $400? You're Fox 4. And I go, well, we didn't have enough money to do the 400. We only could only do 300. And I don't remember when they started the 400, but I love it. I love it. So kind of had to figure it out how to do it ourselves. We've kind of got a template now where we were able to do it. I loved it when we had the dollar bills. We could go, because everybody loved going 100, 200, 300, 400. And then I don't know what happened. They went back to gift cards.
So what all went into that? Was there like a intrinsic few that wanted that to happen?
My bosses wanted to be positive, wanted some positive news because people were complaining. And I have found, I grew up watching Fox 4, and I've grown up watching all the happy things. So there's sad news, yes, but then there's a lot of positive. We've done Thursday's Child, where they were able to adopt children out. We do the Fox 4 Love Fund. We do the thing called the Band of Angels, where we give instruments. You know what the Love Fund is?
Mm-mm.
They help children who fall through the cracks. For example, if you were a child and you wanted to get braces and you couldn't because of whatever, no other agency would help you out, Fox 4 would figure it out how to do it. The Fox 4 Love Fund for children. Started by Cynthia Smith, God, I want to say 30 years ago. The Band of Angels was started by Mike Meyer from Meyer Music and Carrie. And what it was old instruments, and you bring them in, and then they've sent people to Broadway who have started out however many years ago with an instrument that they were able to give them through that.
Wow.
That's the Band of Angels.
The Band of Angels.
And then Pay It Forward, we're able to help people. For example, we shot one today with the Hope Market, HOPE, help other people eat, HOPE. And so we brought her in, did some live shots with her, and we surprised her. In the end, the board of directors or the volunteer, I can't remember, he came in and was talking. It'll be on Monday. And he came in and we surprised her with the $400 because they're trying to buy a truck. So people nominate. We get hundreds of applications every week where people nominate, like maybe you'll nominate your chief. Actually, there's a guy named Charlie who loves firefighters at Station, what's the one in the Northeast?
25s.
And Charlie hangs out there.
Northeast, that'd actually be 23s.
Okay. Charlie hangs out there and loves firefighters. And he's an older guy and whatever. And Charlie wanted to nominate one of the fire chiefs there several years ago, so we did him. We surprised him. And people would start crying. I start crying.
You gave a fire chief $400?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, maybe you nominate him.
Yeah.
You nominate him.
My God, those guys already make too much money.
But it was and it used to be $300, but it's $400 now.
So when it first started, did who's the head company for Fox? Is it Fox?
It's now Nexstar.
Nexstar.
It was Fox. Okay, and then now we are Nexstar, Nexstar, and Nexstar TV. Who were we before? Oh my gosh, I can't remember right now. But we were Fox when I first started. It was kind of cool.
And so did they said that was okay in the overhead? Do you guys have like a supplementary fund where if you guys want to do something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what was the initial criteria for when you guys started that mission? Did you try to find, because it's kind of, again, I don't want to sound negative, but it's kind of weird to be like, oh, this person needs help. I mean, how did you, before you even got nominations, how did you take the initial?
It's somebody who has made a difference in the community. Maybe somebody who's made a difference in your life. You can't be related. We had a lot of people wanting to nominate their family members. And it has to just be something that brings something positive to the community. I've done people who have been undergoing cancer treatment and their neighbor takes them all the time. So he wants to repay them for gas money. We have a lady who cuts hair for free for people who go to school, and one of the moms wants to repay her. We have, I thought in the beginning I might run out of, I've never ever run out of any, or I've never been bored, never had anything that seems like it's the same thing. And I've been doing it for 17 or 18 years now. At one point we did 2 a week.
I was going to ask, how many do you do a year? Or
one a week.
So every single week you give out 52, how much, can you do some math? How much is 52 times 400? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And Fox or Nexstar covers all that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Does anybody do anything parallel to that? I don't think anybody else is giving away money like that.
No, and it's positive.
The news is kind of hurting though, huh?
Let's see.
$20,800.
And then now times that by, well, it was 300. roughly by 15 years. It's been 17.
Will you look up and see who Nexstar is owned by?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
What about Fox 4 Problem Solvers? Have you done any work with that your personal self or?
No. Now Linda Wager did it. Now we have another young lady that's doing it. Bella Caracta is doing it now.
That's a huge thing for the community. I know a lot of people who have received answers, especially apartments, no heat, things like that.
Oh yeah. No, when you tell somebody, if someone calls me, I don't do problem solvers, but if you call, if they tell me they have a problem, I say call the landlord back and tell them you're going to contact the problem solvers. And a lot of times that stops it.
Let's see. Nexstar. I guess they got the money one way or another.
Nexstar owns Nexstar.
Yeah. Nexstar owns Nexstar. And they have all sorts of different affiliates. So we're one of them, Fox. They just purchased a bunch.
So does Fox 4 Problem Solvers, do they just use like the weight of their poll and their notoriety to help get stuff done? Do they do things like on a legal end for those people, or do they simply share the story? Like
No. They do. They try to get it from start to finish. They try to help them. They've done a lot of that. Yes, we have attorneys also who look over the stories to make sure that we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they do a lot of work. I don't know how they do it. They just know who to go to. They know who to ask. They know who to, you need to talk to the Missouri Attorney General. You need to do this or you have to do that or whatever. And if it's something that's too much into the legal field, we don't handle it. They have to go to their attorneys.
So do they have a whole team that's assigned
They do.
to do that full time?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's so incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
And there are other
God.
stations that have other call to action, and I don't know what the other stations are called, but I love problem solvers. I love it.
Yeah. I read something that you said about working for Fox meant a lot to you.
Yes.
As you grew up watching that channel.
I grew up watching WDAF. My grandmother lived around the corner. And then, so we would watch it whenever we stayed with her. And then when I worked at Amoco Oil, which was at Linwood and Armour during college, I would come home to her house and eat lunch with her sometimes. And we'd be watching it. It'd be the noon show. It'd be, let's see, John Bilyeu, Betty Hayes, just fun stuff. And so I would watch news, so I feel like it's home. And in fact, when I walk into the studios, it's still the same thick doors. I mean, thick wood doors. And I still get the eerie feeling like, think of all the greats that walk through these doors.
Yeah.
Even though it's changed a lot.
Have you had propositions, I hate to use the word go higher, but like go national, things like that, where people have requested you to
I've had
venture
job
off?
offers, but no.
Yeah.
I mean,
You think you'll see it through with Fox 4?
I think so.
How much longer do you want to do?
Whatever they'll have me for.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I love what I'm doing
Yeah.
until they kick me out. But I do love acting too. I've done a few little things for my niece, who's a little producer, and they're called verticals.
Yeah, vertical shorts vertical films.
I've been about 3 or 4 of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Does she film some of those here?
Mm-hmm.
We had a guy that Jesse Pringle. He films he has some Asian company that came here and shot a pretty big one. He said it had a multi-million-dollar budget.
Do you remember the name of it?
He wouldn't tell us. He said it was like on the low because it's coming out on a app called like Real Life, REEL Life or something like that. And but yeah, he was like, it's a huge budget, and each episode is maybe like a minute to 2 minutes. But there'll be like 21 or 30 episodes.
This was each of these are about 15 minutes, and my niece is Asian, and so she works. They're all like she's Chinese, and her director's Chinese, and all that, and they love it. Wherever they sell it, they love these verticals. And I think they're becoming a little bit more popular here, but over in Europe and in Asia, they love these. They're like the Mexican novelas, the little soap operas.
Well, now when you can just open your phone and watch it right there.
Yeah.
Instant gratification, no subscription. How has technology changed your job?
Oh, a lot. When I first started, we'd have to get the scripts, and you'd put them through the machine almost like not a printer, but they type them, to grab them and go take them upstairs. Now, get your phone, there's your script. Earpiece, for example. Well, okay, so in the live bands where I'm in, they'd put up the mast. You'd get to a scene. It'd take you a few minutes. Put up the mast, tune you in, blah, blah, blah. Are we doing okay? Bring the monitor out, blah, blah, blah. Now we just we're in the van, but we only use the van because we can be in the van. We have that for backup. You've got your, it's through a little backpack, and you're up almost immediately.
Wow.
My IFB's my phone. I have an earpiece in. We don't have monitors anymore since it went to HD. We don't have monitors. And we're almost immediate. So when you're at breaking news, boom, you're there.
Yeah, I talked to my dad about that. It's just like so crazy how he said they used to bring like 8 sat trucks to a big, NFL game, and now like you can get out over your cell phone.
It's unbelievable.
Crazy.
And your dad was he was good, and he was fast.
Yeah, he's a micromanager, so I imagine.
No, but you know what? Okay, so he'd bring his own porta potty. That's what was hilarious. Did you know that?
Well, I used that porta potty a couple times.
It's like, who else has a porta potty but Tim?
Yeah.
But, it came in handy.
Yeah, it sat in the back of that, 85 Mazda 5-speed covered in rust that he used to drop us off in Catholic school at.
Oh.
Can you drop us off down the street, Dad?
Oh. He was penny pinching.
Yeah, well, I guess that's why he's successful.
That's so
knows how to
funny.
hold on to it.
That old. No, but he's known for having his porta potty.
Yeah, I remember that. So big yellow porta potty.
So funny.
Yeah, when he got into his running, he would like not carry water, not carry any like glycogen or whatever. He'd just toilet paper, rolls of toilet paper. That was his priority.
And he did a great job at running.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job.
So we were in court one day. We're at different stations now. So I worked with your dad for many years. And then we were in court one day. And I said, God, that guy's cute. And I went, oh, God, something's wrong with me. That's Tim. But it was after he started running, and he just looked really healthy, and it looked really good. And, and I said, oh, Tim, ooh.
Yeah, he was never big, but he did lose a lot of weight,
He's always looked great.
Yeah.
But
yeah, never a big guy, but once he started running, oh God, dude, shredded.
He's a muscle. He's just a one big muscle.
He's so sick. Him and his wife had a surgery, and like the day before, you had to get there at 7 a.m. They're like, yeah, we're going to go to bed early tonight so we can hit the gym before the surgery. I'm like, you people are out of your mind.
That's Tim.
Yeah. Tell me about your family's restaurant.
We had one of the very first Mexican restaurants in Kansas City called Las Palmas. I was over at Sister Anne's record shop and talking to the gentleman over there. I can't think of his name. And he said, yes, my family had one of the first Mexican restaurants. I looked at him and go, wait a minute, mine did. It was hilarious. So his grandma had a Mexican restaurant too, but it was just funny. I'd never heard anybody say that. So my grandmother was a brilliant cook. They came from Mexico because of religious oppression in the late 20s, early 30s, where they told my grandfather that if he continued to go to Mass, he would be burned with green wood. His name was Primitivo. And so he was a jeweler and a watchmaker. He came. They were going to stay about a year because there was they were knocking in doors and grabbing girls. And my great-grandmother said, you need to leave, Primitivo. You need to go away. You have cousins in Kansas City. And so he came here. So after the second year, he called home and she said, no, mijo, it's not good. Still stay there. After the third year, no, I'm here. And he spoke no English. He was 50-some years old when he came here. He didn't, whatever. And so after the third or fourth year, he said, you know what? This is our home. They've been good to us. We're going to stay here. And he got his citizenship and everything. But yeah, he was, anyway, so my grandmother, someone said, Doña Lupe, you should really sell your food. So they opened a restaurant. It was beautiful, had beautiful arches. And in fact, for a while, we lived on one side it was like a warehouse that my dad made it because he was going through law school and made it there were 6 kids that lived there at one point. And it was called Las Palmas. And I grew up in that restaurant. I wanted to buy it. 45th and Prospect for 20 years and then 85th and Warnell for 10 years.
It was the first Mexican restaurant?
One of the first.
One of the first?
Yeah, because Sister Anne's, he said his grandma was. I don't know where his was. I think his was up north.
Were they ever able to go back safely to Mexico?
Oh, yeah. After a while. If you watch the movie For the Greater Glory of, that was the time frame, the time period when they came here. And no, it was fine. Yeah, I have first cousins there now. But now you don't want to go back now.
Yeah, well, not
right
this
now.
second.
No.
Yeah. What was the oppression like? Was it a different form?
It was a communist regime, from my understanding, that didn't want Catholics. And so they wanted my grandfather, who was a good with his hands as a watcher to work for them. My grandfather wouldn't, and they said, if you go to Mass, we're going to burn you with green wood. So if you watch the movie, you can kind of see. So that's why religion is important to me for that side of the family. And then the other side, the Irish side of the family, her faith brought her through a lot of tragedy with her side of the family too. You know, a lot of people died, and she had a lot of children that didn't make it. So from those two, although they couldn't speak to each other, one spoke Spanish and one spoke English, but they loved each other. They both said the rosary every day. They were just their examples, you know, and they weren't, you're gonna go to church. Never. That's why I feel so blessed that I wasn't, I don't know why I'm talking about all this, but I don't feel pushed at that. Now, let me tell you, ask your dad about this. So if you're just listening right now, we're talking about his father. I worked with him, and we went to Nashville for Elvis Presley's 20th anniversary. So there's us, CNN, MSNBC wasn't there at the time, CNN, other different stations, because it was a big anniversary for Elvis. And it was a holy day. I believe it was in August, the Solemnity of Mary, I think. And so I wanted to go to Mass. It was a holy day of obligation. Tim had other stuff to do, so he didn't take me. And I went myself. The taxi took me there, but he goes, ma'am, nobody else will come back to this part of the city to pick you up. I called. Anyway, I guess it was a bad part of the city. But I went to church, and I got to Mass, and he thought it was hilarious. I walked almost all the way back.
I can't imagine you couldn't convince him to go.
At that time, I think he was just busy.
Yeah.
But you ask him about that.
I will.
Ask him about that. And he goes, you're crazy.
So your son became the drummer in the Elders?
Mm-hmm.
How did that unfold?
So, how many years ago? Kian grew up watching them. And I remember Kian would write the lyrics out and write the music out, and he knew every song. So if anything ever, and not that anything would happen. And so, and his friends also grew up watching the band as well. So when one of the drummers decided to leave, my husband said, well, you're not just going to get it. You need to audition. You need to try out. And so he's now written several of the songs for the Elders over the years and everything. And so he auditioned, and he got it. And he doesn't just play the drums. He plays the mandolin. He plays the bass. He plays guitar. His first instrument was a fiddle, and he took violin when he was 3.5. And so he's been that from learning the violin, you learn everything else. And so the way I knew he knew drums was someone was playing Wipeout one afternoon at our house. And I thought, oh, my husband's home from lunch or something. And it was my son. Da 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 da. You know, he was always studying. Kian was always studying, listening, watching YouTube, channels, and trying to figure out YouTube videos, not channels, and just always learning and writing things down and writing songs and all that. He's got one, if you want to look it up, called "When I'm Gone." Kian Byrne.
Kian.
Kian, and his son is in it, and it's actually a video that was produced, and it won a Telly Award, and I think it was Emmy nominated. It didn't win an Emmy, but it's Kian Byrne, Byrne, and Steve Phillips, who is the guitarist, who actually one of the founders of the Elders, produced the song. John McGrath, who's an award-winning photographer that your dad knows, also, that's it. Yeah.
This one?
The bottom one. Oh, that's his new one. So Lost. That's his new one. He just released that one. And his family's in that too. But the other one was, and this one was shot by our daughter Andrina, who is in film, and then her boyfriend Daniel, who has a film that's in the Italian Film Festival right now.
Wow.
And so
the video production's amazing.
So that's
I love these
Daniel.
shots.
Shot it up at Smithville Lake.
Wow.
They were just going to go camping, and he said, well, why don't I come up there with my camera? Let's see if we can do something. And Kian goes, okay. So this is...
So Kian makes his own music too.
Oh, yeah. So Kian and his dad will tell you that he is Ian is a performer. Kian is a musician. That's what my husband will always say, even though my husband is a musician. But he always says that about Kian. And that's it. Do you remember him at all?
No, but I like his hair.
Oh, honey, he used to have dreadlocks. He plays he has all sorts of bands. He has a reggae band.
That must be so amazing to watch your husband and your son.
Oh,
play
if you go
music
back to the
together.
other video, I'll show you. Ian helped produce this too. It's called When I'm Gone, and it was right after my dad died. And Kian loved my father, and it's around the holidays season. Where's it? There it is. And it's around the holiday season. Just talks about when they're gone. I mean, I'll start crying because it just gets me. But if you go in, there's Olin. He's now 12. And if you go, then that's Steve Phillips, who is no longer with us. He died of, there's Steve. He was with the Rainmakers, which is a very popular band years and years ago. And he started the Elvis. That's my husband.
And with no breath in between.
Yeah. He's just kind of telling him. It's just got. So it's kind of a family affair. I sell their T-shirts, FYI.
Oh, I'll have to get some. Display them.
Talk to Santa
Yeah.
and tell him how happy you are about him.
But we play this every Christmas.
You know what I mean? Tell him what you want.
No.
Who filmed this?
Tell him what you want for Christmas.
John McGrath.
Tell him how happy you
So
are.
John McGrath
who
works
you
at
like. Tell him you
he
like
worked with your
Papa's the
dad and with
best.
me, and he's got so many awards. It's not funny. He actually traveled with the band. If you want to go to a video called "Going to Arklow," John McGrath shot it. I don't know if it's there. It's with the Elders, and it's called "Going to Arklow." And he followed the band around. Arklow's where my husband's from, and he shot the whole tour. And it actually was Emmy nominated. There it is down there.
The Elders' last tour trailer.
That's a trailer of it. So McGrath is brilliant, and he's now over at PBS.
Van 2 is not.
So this is kind of a trailer of what's going on.
This is Arklow, Ireland.
Mm-hmm. But they travel all
One
over.
is Van 1.
How far away is this from like Dublin?
60-some miles.
It's just turned into
And so there are interviews, and he
a
talks.
wonderful excursion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that was Emmy nominated.
When's the last time you guys went to
A
Ireland?
pilgrimage. you
Last
might say.
October with
And
about
so you'll go
150
again
people.
This October.
The words come to life with
Yeah.
a lot of people when we're driving around. So it's
Are you guys
just a
big
special time.
Connor fans?
Oh, Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. Who the fuck is that guy?
He just says what he wants. A lot of people don't like him.
He's the best.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like him. I don't know why, but I think he just says it like it is. I think he's hilarious.
He turned an entire industry on its head.
Oh, okay.
An entire industry that nothing is like it after he came.
Really?
And at one point, he absolutely was considered the greatest of all time. He held the 145 and 155 pound titles simultaneously, which was the first anyone's ever done
Really?
that. Yep.
And isn't he running for president over there?
I don't know if he's doing
I
that.
think he
First, he's
was.
got to get off drugs,
Oh,
you know. But when what do they say when it's hard to get up in the morning when you're on silk sheets?
oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Once you make that money, it's kind of hard to get up. He says he's coming back, though. I can't wait to see it. He's big now. The guy's yoked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was out of the UFC. They have like a testing pool. You know, he can't be on steroids. But he had, when he fought Dustin Poirier, career, let's see.
I thought he was running for something.
Informal stages, has no elected office, no formal. He could win, though. He could win. He fought a guy, Dustin Poirier, and he threw a leg kick, and there's something called checking a kick. It's where you lift your shin up to block their kick, and so it just goes either you want to go kneecap to shin, but you can go shin to shin, and he broke his shin completely in half, the tibia and the fibula, and he's laying there, and that injuries happen 2 or 3 times in the UFC, and the guys fall over and they start crying, and you know it's like horrific, and Connor breaks his leg in half and his ankle is dangling, and he looks at his opponent and tells him that his wife was in their DMs. So it's the only guy that's ever broke his leg in half and then talk shit. But anyway, he got out of the testing pool so he could take some stuff to heal his leg.
Okay.
So then he got shredded.
Oh,
Huge. So I don't know if he could ever make...
Dude, is there a picture of him?
Yeah. Look up like 2015 Connor to 2025 Connor.
Wow. You should go to Ireland. You guys should go to Ireland.
I would love to go. I might get on that tour bus with you.
You'd have a blast.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay. Oh.
So 2015 to 2022. I mean, his pecs are enormous. His biceps are huge. He's yoked.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Oh.
You don't have a dual citizenship, do you?
No, but my son doesn't. My husband doesn't. My girls do.
Just curious, how does that work with, like, your son?
He was born there.
Oh, okay. Because you guys are on a trip?
No, I had him over there. I was married over there. Yeah.
So he had to get, is he automatically U.S. and?
He's automatically, I had to file for a passport for the U.S., but he's automatically, yes, Irish. But he was tiny little thing. I could hold him in my hand. He was born several weeks early. He was a little thing, all this hair. And he was like the popular boy on the maternity ward. It was fun. It was different. It's socialized medicine. And people talk about, there's nothing free. And socialized medicine, I chose to pay for my care because I wanted my own room. I didn't want to have 9 other women in the room. And I wanted a private doctor. I just didn't want somebody that came up. And thank goodness I did because we had some medical issues. So that's the difference. But at that time, how many years ago, it was 463 pounds for the room for 13 days.
Okay.
And 400 pounds, they have euro now, 400 pounds for the doctor, which was a lot.
What's the conversion there?
If you do it 2 to 1.
Oh, so it's about 2 to 1.
It was then.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what a crazy life you have. Okay, I'm sorry I missed this. Is
Yes.
your dad is Irish and
My
your
dad
mom?
is Irish and my mother's Mexican. Mm-hmm.
And what's the story of them meeting here?
Dad was a country boy, and after he got out of World War II, he came here to go to Rutgers University with $30 in his pocket. He loved to sing. He wanted to be a singer, an Irish tenor. Well, she had a group called the Las Palmas Trio, and she sang. We just were born with guitars. And so he was in a choir at Visitation Catholic Church with my Uncle Carlos. Uncle Carlos brought him to the restaurant. My aunt, his sister, came with him. She'd never seen a taco before back then. Didn't know what it was. Didn't know how to eat it. And she just kind of put her napkin over it. And so my dad said to my uncle, "Oh, your wife is so pretty. She's so sweet." And he said, "My wife?" He goes, "That's my sister." Well, they were married a year later. That was it. That's how they met. And they sang together. They acted in a lot of things too.
They here in Kansas City, though? Wow. Man, Kansas City's such a rich history of immigration, especially Italian, Hispanic, Irish.
And the Irish and the Mexicans go way back. The San Patricios, I have to think what year was, 1860-something, whatever, where the Irish were hired by the Mexican army to fight against the United States at the time. And the brigade is called the San Patricios. And Ian has written a song about the San Patricios because they love these Irish. So there's a connection with the Irish and the Mexicans. Not just that, but there's faith, family, food, fun, and we just very much alike. I think it's that Celtic connection where we all started from, I think. Because, my husband said he always wanted to marry Mexican. Where do you hear that? There were no Mexicans in Ireland, at that time. But he said he'll tell you if you ever talk to him. He saw these little blackheads running around the woods the day he threw pine cones at all of them, and I think he watched a John Wayne film where there was a Mexican lady in it. And so from then on, he wanted to marry a Mexican lady.
Well, Kathy, you're the best. Thank you so much for doing this. I really, really, I hope appreciate
you got
it.
what you wanted.
Yeah, no, this is phenomenal. Your family's amazing. I mean, I'm very appreciative I got to learn more about them. I was going to ask you, though, what's the deal with the cheetah print?
Oh,
have you told this story before?
Look up my Facebook page, if you can, Kathy Quinn, Fox 4 News. And most recently, a PR lady dropped her daughter off on Saturday to a party. And the girl had a Kathy Quinn-themed birthday party with cheetah print. I said, "Oh, my God."
No way.
Yeah, you'll have to. Yes. And I said, and it's just something, it happened to me at 41. I started wearing cheetah print, an animal print, any animal. My sister, Elizabeth, is very much a designer. She's really cool. And so I just loved her stuff. I loved it. And it's like an addiction. I have to wear clothes that I feel good. Okay, it did the parade. Okay. No, go down. Keep going. Oh,
there's
the
the picture of
postings.
the cake.
There's the cake. That's from the party. And if you go down, okay, you go to the right. There. Oh no, go to the left then. Oh my goodness, sorry.
I'm not logged in. I don't have it.
Oh, okay. It won't let you? That's weird. Anyway,
Who was
her
it that
name is
had
Lucy. She's 12. Okay, let's see. There she is to the left. Up there. So Lucy's 12, and look at the big picture. And the picture's all over of me.
Oh my God.
So her mom, so I didn't know who she was, and this lady dropped her daughter off, and she said, I couldn't believe it was Kathy. And this lady knows me vaguely, but Lucy's mom didn't know me and didn't know that this lady knew me. And so it's just funny. So that was just on Saturday.
You're hilarious. You didn't know you were a superstar.
Animal print.
You're a freaking superstar.
What can I do?
Well, you're a lovely person. I really appreciate this. It means the world. I know my dad will get a kick out of it. So
Good.
Thank you so much.
Your dad. We love him.
All right,
we love you
him.
too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
love you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.